No one cares about your excuses. They only care about your results. That's why we got to stop making excuses for why we don't finish things or why we don't do things in our lives and make the change that we say we will. You could have a million reasons for why your plan fell through or you didn't execute on the things you said you would. But nobody really cares about that, in all honesty, because there's nothing really to show for it. You can't gain anybody else's respect or even respect yourself in some sense if you only make excuses for why you can't do things. I personally believe that the brain is a results oriented kind of machine, and it learns best through progress and demonstrated results. So, the best way to train your brain is through showing it some sort of progress, some sort of change, some sort of difference in what was happening before. That's why I think working out is so effective, because you can see the results. You can see, especially if you track it in like a spreadsheet or something, you track your numbers, you make sure you know how much you're lifting each week so that you can increase it as you develop in your training. And you can see physically that either you lost some weight on the scale or you could see that your body looks better in the mirror. So these are like physical things that your brain can see and recognize in your pursuit of your goals. So that's why I think results is a big part of training your brain. And then once you are able to demonstrate and to prove to yourself that you can make these results, you can make these changes in your life through taking action, your brain starts to gain more confidence. And then you ultimately feel better about yourself because you know that you have the power in your control to make a difference in how you look and how many pounds show up on that scale and how much weight is being moved and being tracked in your spreadsheet. These are different things that show progress rather than when you make excuses for, oh, I skipped the gym every day this week. That doesn't do shit for you because in your spreadsheet, nothing's changed. If anything, there's blank spaces because you missed the week, or on the scale, nothing's changed. If anything, maybe it got worse because you didn't go to the gym and exercise. And in the mirror, it's still also nothing changed. It looks probably worse because of the fact that you've been skipping your workouts and you aren't doing the things that you say you are because you're making excuses. And this goes for anything really, like in school, for example. So if you were applying to colleges, the colleges didn't care about any excuses you had for why you didn't like turn in your homework or why you didn't perform well on the SATs, right? They literally only cared about that number that you got out of 1600 and whatever supplemental essays that you could provide. So you have a little bit of room for creativity in how you express yourself there, but they're really focused on your GPA, your academics. But while universities say they're looking at a holistic view of your personality or you as a candidate, as an applicant, they're really looking just at the results of your work, basically. Whether it was clubs that you were involved in at school or honor societies or things you were doing outside of school, like volunteer work or part-time jobs. And additionally, they're looking at the things like your SAT scores, your ACT scores, your GPA. These are all numbers based and they're proven results. Same thing with like their extracurriculars. Those are all results of you doing something rather than making an excuse for not doing anything. So if you were someone who didn't really participate in clubs or anything like that, you probably had to supplement in order to get into a good school by doing like volunteer work or tutoring outside of school, something to make up for the lack of results in one area. You had to have results in another area. So this just goes to show that people only really care about the results that you can bring. Nobody cares about the excuses you have to make. So we just got to stop with that. It's just not going to help us at all in the future. And while some of the times you might have valid excuses, most of the time, a lot of the things that we have to make for excuses are just BS. And we're really just ultimately fooling ourselves instead of just saying, yeah, I didn't try my hardest. I didn't actually give it my best and I gave up and I quit because I'm a bum. Like, you just got to kind of face the facts sometime and not trick yourself into thinking that you have these sort of excuses. It's a lot easier to blame some sort of external thing for why we didn't complete what we said we would, instead of just taking accountability for our actions and the fact that we didn't do what we said we would. And then there's no benefit in really harping on that decision that you didn't do what you said you would, because you can't change that. It's in the past. You already made that decision. You already made that choice. It's over and done. You have to suffer the consequences of whatever situation or environment you're involved in right now. And the only thing that you can change is what's coming for the future, and you change that by your actions in the present. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.